Oh, thank God for that. I can turn the Tracy down. Oh, and the Jessica McDonald up. Jessica, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm good now. Thank God. It is Rog on Insta Live. Your suboptimal Jerry Krause, and I'm not here alone. I'm having my third first bud of the day with one of the most titled club footballers in the women's game. Oh, I revere the way she lives her life on the field with a clinicality and also off it with a sense of emotional gratitude, which, to be candid, is completely inspiring. From your back-to-back title-winning North Carolina Courage and World Cup winning US women's national team, that's a lot of winning. Oh, welcome, J-Mac.
Thanks for having me. Cheers. I'm digging the robe, by the way.
Oh, the robe.
Oh, it's nice.
I'm going to tell my wife. My wife got me this.
I love it.
Oh, you're amazing. I'm here with you. Where are we finding you? Chapel Hill, North Carolina, right?
Chapel
With
Hill,
your
yeah.
son Jeremiah.
What's up?
Are you in Chapel Hill?
No, he's not here right now. He will be in about a week before school starts back up.
Oh, America. How is lockdown life dealing with you? Because everything you do, Heather O'Reilly said, she said you do it with enthusiasm and positivity that helps everybody around you. Is that true about lockdown life, or are you getting cabin fever?
No, I'm actually enjoying the quarantine life a little bit. And the reason for it is I'm kind of on my own schedule right now, training wise. I've still been able to train, but at the same time, I'm still able to recover my body as well from all the pounding pretty much from last year. Because when you're juggling club and country at the same time, it's a lot on your body. So it's
I
kind of
wouldn't
nice to
know.
get somewhat of a break.
I wouldn't know, sadly. I'm still waiting for my US men's national soccer team call up. But you have played almost relentless football. You've had your club season, you've had your World Cup, you've had the victory tour. So it's an incredible amount of games to recover from.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of taking advantage right now while we do have a break and I'm able to do so.
To quarantine, can I just say, up top, you are one of my favorite athletes in the world. Being an elite professional is so hard. Being a mom is the hardest thing I've ever witnessed with my own eyes. You are both. I mean, incorporating the two to me is next level human wonder. You're the most badass mother I've ever seen since Sarah Connor in The Terminator. How's that been, balance wise, for you?
It's hard. It's very hard. Parenting first and foremost isn't an easy thing to do. And, when simply our schedule changes, because our schedule changes a lot sometimes. And so even when that does, I have to adjust, find a nanny or find someone who's available to watch my kid, things like that. So, there are times where it is very difficult trying to juggle the two, but I'm just happy now that my kid is in school full time and he's got an after school program, which is kind of nice. So that kind of carries out my own schedule because normally it's very early when, I'm training or recovering, doing things like that. So balancing it, it's been a little bit better.
You were the only player on the World Cup squad who had a kid. I mean, I think there's only 7, possibly 6 now in the whole NWSL. Who are your role models? Which moms do you look at and think, oh my God, they cool?
I like looking at Serena Williams. If we're talking about other sports, shout out. Allison Felix. There's so many female athletes out there who are moms. I mean, Sid LaRue, she's juggling too. Same with Amy Rodriguez. So kudos to them, really, really kind of doubling it on there. So, I admire all moms out there, to be honest. But specifically athletes, we're really the ones in that sort of circle who knows kind of the ins and outs and sort of what we all kind of go through as moms.
I admire you as a mom. I genuinely admire you as a player. Your story is remarkable. And when I think about big time players, 2 titles in the last 2 years, 3 goals in that final, you are clutch. I mean, mentally, what happens to you in big games when others crumble under pressure? I'm asking for a friend. What allows you to step up your game?
Um, you know, I like pressure. I like a lot of pressure, and I think I feed off of that pretty well. And you know, it's the last, when it comes to the championship specifically, it's the last game of the year. And so that's when you really have to take advantage of every moment that you're on the field, because you'll never get it back again. Because now a lot of people will say, hey, I played an NWSL championship, or hey, I had the chance to do so. Not everyone can say that. So those are the type of things that we as athletes have to sort of take advantage of, people not having that opportunity. But here you are, you have that opportunity. You worked your ass off to make it there. You may as well just go all out. And so, we like to take advantage of those moments together as a team, and just kind of go all out when it's crunch time to do so.
I want to talk to you about your career, because I believe there's so many life lessons that can be learned from it. You started soccer relatively late. You're actually a multi-sport winner, Arizona State track and basketball star as a kid. Is it true you didn't play soccer at high school?
I did not play high school soccer. I played club, but basketball, track, and soccer for high school specifically, they all overlap each other, and basketball and soccer at the same exact time. So I chose to play basketball instead.
Another one that I love about you, 8th grade, you, J-Mac, were the starting quarterback on your school team.
I was. I had a great lineman, great receivers, but I also love running the ball as well. So if anyone knows me as a soccer player, they know I can throw a soccer ball, and that's kind of where I learned it from.
NFL draft Thursday night. Chicago Bears need you incredibly badly right now, Jessica. You committed to soccer, though, ultimately ending up at North Carolina, the mighty Tar Heels, whom you helped win a national championship. What ultimately made you choose the pathway that you have, soccer?
I noticed that I had more opportunities in soccer in comparison to the other sports, believe it or not. And so I kind of wanted to run with that. Playing on youth national soccer teams, that was taking me all over the world. And so that was just a really cool experience as a 14-year-old girl, flying out to Ireland for the first time. So it's just been like an incredible journey so far. For me, at the time. And so I wanted to continue that. And, I continue to have the chance and opportunities to do so.
The opportunity is wild, but the grind is what we don't see behind the scenes. And your grind is, next level. You turn pro. And here's to me where your story becomes so inspirational, because, you've described the part of your career, the early part, as bittersweet. You were selected by the Chicago Red Stars in the draft on your first start. I don't like to bring up bad memories, but it ends well, everyone. It ends well. You felt a pop. You were carried off. You'd ruptured your patella tendon. Not even sure if I have one of those. A major knee injury that forced you to miss the rest of 2010 and all of 2011. You were told you had a small chance of ever playing high-level sports again. That take us there, because that must have been devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a hard thing to accept at the time, because I had this goal, I had this dream where I met bits and pieces of it just by becoming a pro, and so that was incredible. But then you hear something that's going to keep you from doing what you love. That's really hard news to receive, and those times it really sucked. But I had a great support system. I ended up giving birth to my son Jeremiah throughout the recovery, and so it's really funny, because a lot of people ask me, like, how did you bounce back from your knee injury, having your son literally same time frame? And so my answer, it varies sometimes, but I've spoken to one of my really good friends, and we were talking more in depth, because I'm told that I'm not supposed to play again, or it's very slim chance. And here I am, I give birth to my child. And so, we kind of laugh about it, me and my friend, that having my child and giving birth to him healed my body, which is insane to say, because of like all the hormones, testosterone coming from my son, all the amazing vitamins, that comes with bearing a child. I really truly believe that some parts of my pregnancy really did affect my recovery from my knee surgery, because that's the only answer that I've really ever been able to give that makes the most sense
That
That's all that makes sense.
I'm raising my bud to that because that is utterly beautiful. But when I think about it in my own limited Rog way, you know, 1 minute you're devastatingly injured, you're told by doctors, yeah, probably not going to be playing highlight. Your speed is gone. I mean, that mentally, that is anyone trying to recover from that. That's a devastating blow. And then you have, you know, the beauty of becoming a mother. That is a lot of life changingness, to coin a word, for
Yeah.
one human being. I mean, how did you process it all?
It was hard, but growing up, I grew up with all boys, and I was the only girl, so I always had this sort of tough mentality. You know, you're not allowed to cry, or or else, And so, being able to, obviously, I guess, build that sort of mentality, I'm able to handle my emotions at times. And so, also having a very good support system. And I relied solely on my faith as well. There's something that you have to be inspired by. And so those were like the key three things for me, going through some life-changing experiences.
There's a mid phase to the JMac career where you become what they call in football a journeyman. You know, from 2013 to 2016, you're on a new team each season. Stops in Portland, Mighty Thorns, Houston, Western New York. I mean, pro sports is a grind. It is grind life. You fought harder than most to rise up to the top. You've said science told me no. Coaches, economics and convention all told me no. I mean, you had to take an Amazon job at one point to augment your salary. I read this story, I'm like, life told you no, but you kept persevering. Just reveal to us, how did you persevere?
Yeah, it was tough because there were times where, I wanted to hang up the boots. I truly did, because of all the hardships. But, I'm here to just set a prime and good example for my son. And the simple fact that I was still physically able to continue to play, that was like my one inspiration. It's like, look, I need to take advantage of still being able to play, because once I'm done, I'm done. That's it. I'm not getting it back. And so I didn't want to show my son, like, when things get hard, give up. That would have been a prime example for him. And I didn't want to do that either. I didn't want to disappoint my son. Like, well, you gave up, Mom. What makes you think that I can't give up on something, And so I am here to show him, like, look, it's going to take hard work. It's going to suck sometimes. You're going to lose. You're going to fail, but don't let that hold you back. And so I didn't want to let all of that hold me back. I mean, working full-time jobs at Amazon, just to make ends meet. Yeah, that sucked. But if you have a goal and you have a dream and you're inspired by something, if there's something that you want to be, if there's something that you want to do, you don't stop until you get there. And you need to truly believe in yourself as well, which can be a hard thing to do, but you truly have to believe in yourself and know that you're going to make it.
God, this is life testimony in a bottle. I mean, I've just learned in the past 2 minutes that all I've done is teach my kids how to give up. Big mistake. Have belief in yourself. Not really, Rod. I mean, everything I've done wrong. Be like the person at the bottom of this screen. That one. Be like that person, not like this person. And everything is going to be amazing, because those are the lessons you took from that grind. When most people, to be completely candid, would have folded. I mean, I read an interview with your coach, Paul Riley, who's a fantastic human being. I really adore him. He, like me, is a bald man from Liverpool. He, unlike me, has made something of himself. He's a remarkable human being. And he said about you, he said, even in her 30s, J-Mac is still improving. How is that possible? How? Because I've been in decline since the age of 14. How do you transform? This is the thing I don't understand. How do you transform from like journeyman striker to elite goal scorer, clutch goal scorer that the team who are winning title after title in the NWSL rely on?
Yeah, I truly believe from the bottom of my heart. It's through all the coaches who still continue to believe in me, and Paul Riley's one of them. Cheers to yourself. I'm impressed.
Cheers
by
to
the
Paul
way.
Riley.
Yeah, no, like Paul Riley, for example, he's been here he's been my coach throughout a lot of my pro career. And so with that being said, I mean, how successful we have been, you know, playing under him has been an incredible journey, but he pushes us to a limit that we didn't even know we had within ourselves. And that's the type of coach he is. He expands your soccer IQ, and it's a very impressive thing, you know, for a coach to be able to instill into not just one player, but an entire group of players, just in order to be successful, because everybody has to be bought in. And so he's very good at teaching that. And so and juggling, you know, other coaches and mentors that I've had throughout my career. And every offseason I try and go home and work with other coaches who have helped me along the along my journey. And so just picking pieces from each coach that I've ever learned from and still continuing to learn from. I mean, I'm just trying to ball it all in and apply it into my game.
You know, you hear about NBA players who late in their career had like a mid-range jumper and it keeps them going. But you in that kind of second phase of your career have gone next level. You've said that Paul Riley helped you grow as a footballer and a person. You've also told me you started to watch the game a lot, which I admire greatly. Slightly less admire who you have been watching. J-Mac, tell the people who your Premier League team is. I'm going to pretend to be enthusiastic. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Liverpool fan. I have a lot of their games from this season recorded, so I've been able to watch them all this year.
They're like the poor man's North Carolina Courage, if we're being honest. What happened? How did you choose them? I know you Paul Riley, big Liverpool fan, kind of encouraged you along the way, but you watched a couple of players in particular that have really helped your game.
Yeah, so I was told that some of my strengths were almost similar to Daniel Sturridge and Raheem Sterling at the time. This was in 2014. And, you know, and I was told to, hey, watch these guys or watch this team and see how they play and trying to apply those things to your game. And so that's when I really started watching EPL, you know, more on a consistent basis, because obviously I was still willing to learn. I was 26 at the time and, you know, still wanting to grow and learn. And so it's been an incredible journey to obviously try and follow the footsteps of Liverpool players.
Two things happened at the same time, Liverpool fans watching this. Jurgen Klopp arrived, a small detail, and J-Mac started to cheer for Liverpool. I think the second one is what put them over the top.
Absolutely.
Your career changed at the same time. You made your debut for the US women's national team, all hail, age 28. I mean, be honest with me. Had you given up at any time before that in your career of all thoughts of international play? Was there a point where you're like, yeah, that is not going to be happening?
Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, like you said, I was 28 years old at the time making my debut. And that's an unusual age to make your debut on the national team. It's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
So there was a point in time in my career where I did accept the simple fact that I wasn't getting invited into camp. And so obviously I was still going to work my tail off, of course. And, you know, there were times where I just accepted the simple fact that I just wasn't going to be on the team, but I still wanted to help whatever team I was on at the time just to succeed and obviously still continue to better myself as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I've got just a quick segue. Greg Berhalter, I know you're watching. I am the male. J-Mac, get me on that team. We'll qualify for the World Cup. I guarantee it. Back to you. I mean, when you made that US debut, did you start to see yourself differently? Did it affect your identity in a different way? You know, you just that you grew as a human being as a result of pulling on that US jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. It truly humbled me, that's for sure, because, you know, a lot of the girls on the team at the time were around my age, you know, and so everyone is already, you know, they already have the experience. They already have all these caps, where here I am dabbling into it and I'm earning my first cap. And so just being able to get that experience was absolutely amazing. Humbling experience, like I said. But once I got into other camps after that, I knew what to expect at that point. And so, you know, you kind of have to come into these camps with just a little bit of confidence and know that you're there simply for your strengths. And that it took me a couple camps to really realize that, like, okay, I'm here because of like what I do, what I can apply to the game. And so, you know, it's kind of like a light bulb a little bit. So Yeah, just
I
try to
I
run
read
with that
about you
mentality.
right then. There was a piece by a journalist, Henry Bushnell, ahead of the World Cup that talked about you and just where you were and what you'd achieved. It really put your achievement, your approach, I mean, I thought a lot about you in the run up to this World Cup. What must you be feeling in your heart, in your soul, in your sense of self? Bushnell wrote, he said, McDonald's eventual World Cup teammates were team prodigies. They were top ranked recruits. They are magazine cover girls and Olympic gold medalists and household names. All 22 of them, that's everybody apart from you. Don't like to rub it in, just making a point for the people watching. All 22 of them had earned national team call ups by the age of 23. What was that like? What was that like to be the first timer in that culture?
It was incredible. It was almost like a sense of relief because
I bet.
that was, yeah, that was just a phone call. I've been waiting at the time. I was 31 years old when I got the phone call. And so I've been waiting 31 years for it. And so just every emotion just hit me. Happiness, like I just felt so
America.
relieved, and all these tears just started pouring down my face. And so it was just, I was over the moon at the end of the day.
You were to me one of the stories of the World Cup. I watched you. I watched every glimpse of you. I read everything I could. I thought about you. You know, I thought about you almost every single day. What must you be going through in this campaign? I mean, to me, the emotional moments I loved so much in that World Cup, there were a number of them. But you, first time I saw you make your debut, 3-0 against Chile, you came on, and I teared up. I teared up with joy and admiration and human wonder. It wasn't a sporting moment for me. It was a human moment that transcended sports, and my heart just beat so. I mean, it pumped for you as you ran on, and then I saw footage of you in the mixo after the game. We won 3-0. Spoiler alert. And I watched you, and your hands were visibly shaking still. And you said, I loved it. You know, most athletes would be like, yeah, it was great. It was stuff of my dreams. Trying to talk it up as no big deal because they want to play in that next game. You said, I was very nervous. And then you said something that just made me well up when I read it. And it's so beautiful now as I read it. You said it's one of those moments I've been waiting for my entire life. What was that like? Talk to me as you're about to run on and make your World Cup debut, knowing the
Yeah,
whole nation was watching.
I was shook. Um, as soon as I was told, I had no idea I was even going into that game. I had no clue. And I found out like the 43rd minute that I was going in at half, and I was like, excuse me, what? I'm just there, to support my teammates here. I understood my role at that point. But like when I was told just before half I was going in, I like my mind just drifted elsewhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to, find my shin guards. Like, do I have my jersey on? I'm panicking at this point, almost in a panic. Like, oh my god, this is it. This is it. That's all that's going through my mind. And so, halftime came, and my teammates, everyone could very much so notice that I was very nervous. I'm pacing back and forth. I'm going in and out of the restroom. I'm walking in circles at one point. I'm shaking. I'm trying to warm up at the same time. And, Sam Ewis came up to me and she calmed me down, and she was just like, Jess, you got this. This is just like any other game. Imagine, you're still here with your teammates. Imagine like being with the Courage and being with the USA team. Like, you deserve to be here. Just go all out. Like, it's gonna be fine. Like, take a deep breath. And I'm like, okay. So she came up to me. She approached
Sam
me, and just
Lewis.
before I'm going onto the field, Tobin Heath comes up to me and gives me a hug, and I was like, oh my gosh. And that just like made me more nervous. I'm not sure why. It was supposed to relax me, but it didn't help at all. So Tobin gave me a hug before I just ran out onto the field. And by the time I got my first touch out of the way, it was just like any other game pretty much. And yeah, like one of the coolest experiences in my entire life. That's for sure.
You're probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever take the field in the Women's World Cup.
I think so.
Oh, America. After the US defend their title, spoiler alert, another beautiful moment. You post on Instagram. It's really what Instagram was created for, everybody. You posted on Instagram an image of you hugging Jeremiah, a hug even more beautiful than a Jurgen Klopp hug, because you caption it. Oh, we did it, bud. We did it, bud. I mean, you said afterwards about this whole journey, and to me, this is what sports is all about. It's what football's all about. I always say football is about the memories passed on from, from mothers to daughters, from fathers to daughters, from mothers to sons, from fathers to sons. And you said, I wanted to be able to tell my son Jeremiah that I went for it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's bottom line. That's it. And I'm just happy he's literally at an age right now where he's going to remember all of this. He may not understand or know the magnitude of everything, but in the future he definitely will. And we'll definitely have a little chat about it. Maybe we'll even have a Budweiser together and chat and have a little chat about it.
Oh, drink responsibly, America. Yeah, I loved also what you said. There's been a couple of things I've ever wanted in life. My Lord, to make it, and for my son to say he was proud of me. Question from a fan, a GFOP at Yay Sharpie. J-Mac, what do you hope Jeremiah gains from it all?
I hope he gains some inspiration, because every child in their life, like when every child out there, they look up to their parents. Their parents are their first heroes. Their parents are the people who they look up to, unless they have an older sibling maybe. But, most case scenarios, parents are the superheroes at this point. And so as my child is looking up to me, I have to set a good example for him. And I want him to be inspired by my journey. That's bottom line, because he needs something to be inspired by, of course, just like anybody else. And so why not just be that inspiration for him?
Oh, J-Mac, ultimately, again, I am not my children's superhero. Thank God they have people like you. Thank God they have people like you. They have the emergency workers, the teachers stepping up in America right now. But that is, that is beautifully, beautifully said. But I have to ask you, back-to-back club titles with the North Carolina Courage. My God, I love it down there in Old Raleigh. I really do. A World Cup winners medal. What now, J-Mac? What now?
Right now, I want to obviously solely focus right now on, this upcoming preseason. Still wanting to, come out with a bang with my Courage girls. But right now I'm actually focusing on the next chapter in my life, for whenever I do retire, I'm able to transition into the next career that I want to go into. So here I am putting resumes together. I just made my first, my LinkedIn profile, and I feel very much so like an adult right now. So I've been able to dabble into some other things while I still have a little bit of time. So it's been a really incredible learning process.
As they say in North Carolina, no finish line. Last question. If it's not clear to you, I am inspired by you. I mean, thousands of people who love the game of football in America are utterly inspired by you. I ask every guest that comes on our show, make the case in this wild, surreal, challenging time. Can you make the case for optimism? What do you draw strength from, J-Mac, when you need to?
I draw strength from, just from life. Literally life in general. When I wake up in the morning, I'm a morning person. I rely so much on the sun. I have to. I'm a mom, so I have to wake up, being very joyful, and just kind of get my day started. And obviously, a cup of coffee definitely helps with that. But just trying to take advantage of each day that I'm alive and trying to be happy about it. That's sort of what I'm trying to apply into my life and apply into my son's life as well, because life's too short to obviously wake up bitter, wake up angry, and things like that. Yeah, moments in our lives do suck. We all go through hardships, but there's always a brand new day to look ahead to. And so at the end of the day, as long as you're healthy, just try and be happy and enjoy this entire process we call life, because life is hard and curveballs get thrown at us. But when you come through those hardships, when you get through those hardships, that's what's going to define your character. And that's a very happy feeling. Yes, there's sucky moments, but when you get through that, it's a very happy feeling when you feed off of it. So as long as you're healthy and you're alive, there's no other reason why you shouldn't be happy.
Is there a text you go to that you draw strength from, J-Mac?
Is there what?
A text. Like we talked yesterday about a
Oh yeah.
text.
Yeah, so one of my favorite quotes, it's by Bo Jackson, and it's and it's set your goals high and don't stop till you get there. That quote has been in my wallet for the past 8 years now.
That
8 years.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're listening, you can also set your goals mediocrely. And you know, there's other paths to go. You end up sitting here in the bathrobe. Jess, I want to say to you, when you talk about the goal of life is to find a happiness, is to realize that if you're alive, then there's meaning to be had. I want you to thank you. I want to raise my bird in appreciation and joy and tribute to you, because I feel, I mean, genuinely glorious after speaking to you in a way I mean, I most certainly didn't before that. And I want to toast you and just say to you, to life, to love, to your continued success, to your son's health, to happiness, to the lessons he learns from listening to you, which is an honor and a joy. We will be back next Wednesday on Instagram Live for some more NWSL action. Until then, Bud fam, blood fam. Oh, J-Mac, courage.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Rod.
You're amazing.
Thank
America.
you. Yes.